Hey, one of the most popular guys out there on the tour. Everybody loves seeing this guy on TV. Big hand, Gerald Swindle. Give him up here.
Which one sounded better, this one? And I'll just start out with, I'll ask this young man right here. What do you think the most important thing a fisherman has, his best weapon in bass fishing? What makes KVD or Aaron or Ike or anybody else, what makes that guy good? Is it his tackle, if you could name one thing? Being versatile? The man on the boat over just said it all. It's confidence and it's brain. It doesn't matter what you buy or what you fish with. The most important thing you have as a fisherman, and we're learning it more and more as our career goes on, it's what between your ears it counts. It doesn't matter if it's East Coast or West Coast. If you can't control your emotions of the game and you can't play it at the highest level when things are going at its worst, you're going to get beat. I can have on 16-pound sunline, a Zoom finesse worm. I can have on the best stuff that I can get people to sponsor me with. But if I fish like an idiot, I'm going to weigh in like an idiot. If you act like an idiot, that's what you're going to catch. And has anybody here besides me ever had a bad day? I mean a really bad day. Where you want to stop and punch people on the way home at the gas station? Buy a 40-ounce and run over people's mailbox, that kind of day where you just like, I'm going to break all my rods, throw them out in the lake, I'm done, I'm taking up golf. I have them a lot. I've been fishing 17 years. I made 14 classics. I won over $3 million. I know what it's like to have a bad day. Anybody can look good when they're winning. It's how you handle yourself when things are not going right is what separates the guys who catch them day to day and who don't. I've had them days when you start out backlashing the toilet paper. Y'all ever been there? Run the bathroom, just jerk it off there, just backspin on you like, well, good Lord, look at this crap right here. And I mean, look at this crap right here. This ain't going to be my day. Anybody in here that type of guy? You looking for a reason when it ain't going to be your day? You can tell the truth. This ain't an alcohol meeting. You can just say, hey, you can raise your hand. I ain't going to ask you to pray or nothing. But anybody in here feel like you look for a reason why it ain't your day? It's a mental battle that you go through every day to keep yourself together. So what I'm trying to do, as I get older in my game, I'm learning more and more about how to control what's up here. It doesn't matter what I see on the depth finder. If I can't keep this up here working right, it ain't going to happen. And I can only tell you this, guys, from my mistakes. I'm not up here telling you something I read. I'm telling you the old school of hard knocks. I've lost a lot of money being hard-headed. I've won a lot of money being hard-headed, but I've learned over the last 5 or 6 years, overcoming adversity and thinking positive is the way to go in life. There's only 3 letters you need to remember today when I leave here in California. PMA. That's a positive mental attitude. A man who lives like that and fishes like that will beat you day in and day out. It doesn't matter if you're not on them, guys. It matters if you think you're going to catch them. I keep an etch and sketch in my boat. Anybody think you know why I would keep an etch and sketch in my boat? Every day is a new day of my life. Every day. And on the days that I don't think that, I will physically take that etch and sketch out and lay down on the front of that Triton, and I'll draw me some pictures through there, and I'll shake that etch and sketch up so my mind can see that we started over, and I stick it right on the front of my boat. When I raise my front lid up on my Triton in the Classic, you'll see a small red etch and sketch, and you'll say, yep, he is a mental case. Right there he is. He wasn't lying. Mentally, you have to start over. A 2-day tournament, just because you don't catch them on day 1 doesn't mean that you got to quit. And in my world, every day is a new day. Day 1 is just a beginning to day 2. Day 2 is just a step closer to day 3. If you trip on day 1 and you lay down, that's where you'll be when it's over. You have to remain positive up here. People ask me that. What makes people remain positive? I don't know. Some people's got it in them, some people don't. You ever met anybody like that? No matter what the odds were, you couldn't get them down? I'm very close friends with Kevin Van Dam. I spent a lot of time with him. I spent a lot of time in the boat with him. I spent 2 years with a sports professional mind coach, which somebody says is a psychiatrist. I said it was a mind coach. First time he evaluated me, he said, I'm going to charge you a little extra because this is going to be a mess. Because the way my mind processed information when I was on the water sometimes was actually more of a hindrance than it was helping me. And him and I are sitting watching, and he don't know nothing about fishing. Nothing. This guy couldn't spell fish. He couldn't find one in SeaWorld. He simply worked on football players, baseball players, and I was his first client. And I said, I want to know what goes on up here. What triggers me to have a downhill spiral? And you guys have all been in the boat. You've been in the pinch of the game when things go wrong. and it's like a small aircraft starts to crash. You can pull up on the wheel, but you feel the nose going down, don't you? One thing I'll say about Kevin after talking with my mind coach, him and I sit down and we're watching the clip. My mind coach reports back, we have our second meeting. He said, I got a clip I want you to watch on a computer. It's Kevin Van Dam, one of the last day tournaments at Wheeler. He's up against Jeremy Starks for 1 and 2. Well, they're out there fishing, and Kevin gets about a 5-pounder on a crankbait. You know, Kevin's Series 5, Sexy Shad, Circus, whatever those things are he throws, you know. The fish jumps and comes off. Kevin never acknowledges the cameraman behind him or nothing. Bait comes in, right back out. He's reeling it down there. The very next cast, he said, I got one. About a 4-pounder jumps and comes off. Kevin never turns to the camera. Throws it back out there, and he starts reeling in. He turns, looked at the camera, kind of grins. He goes, that don't happen often, does it? It never meant a thing to him. Nothing. It had zero variance in his life of what just happened. Now me, before I met my mind coach, let me tell you what would have happened. When he had jumped off, I would have drop-kicked that cameraman, slammed across that Mercury, and I'd have started breaking stuff. And I'd have said to myself, there it went right there. You can't win losing big fish like that. And then when the second one would come off, 911, son, I'm telling you right now, I would have melted down because the intensity that I played the game, at that point, I lost control of what I was doing. What Kevin showed me right then was no matter how bad the situation, it's all good. In his mind, he thought, if I got those two to bite, there must be a bunch of them here. Where would the rest of us have been? Down in the bottom of the boat. You got to look for the positive. Any question, see, it's something positive in everything. People say you can't find positive in everything. Yes, you can. You really can. It's easier to find the negative. I promise you that. I don't want to just focus on the negative. I want to figure out why it's better. People say, well, you got a speeding ticket. What you going to find out positive about that? Well, maybe if I didn't get that ticket, I was going to hit that 18-wheeler and die. Pretty good statement. Hard to argue with that kind of logic. I found the positive in it, correct? I'm challenging you to find the positive. And if all else fails, I want you to take a rubber band and put on your right wrist. I've done this for 3 weeks when I started my whole course with my mind coach. He said, put the rubber band on your right wrist. Every time y'all think of something negative, I want you to stretch that rubber band out and pop it one time. Pop your wrist. And in 21 days, you will have retrained your mind that every time you think of something negative, it'll relate to pain. And if you think it don't work, just put your rubber band on when you get home. And I'm telling you, when I first started, I had a bungee cord on there. Because I had some issues. I'm going to tell you, I had some issues. I was popping that rubber band. My wife be talking to me like, pow, pow. What is this? I said, I'm just making sure it don't break. It's just that simple. Rubber band on your right wrist. Every time you think of something negative, 21 days, pop that rubber band, pop that rubber band, pop that rubber band. When you're in a tournament, things ain't going right, you jump off 2 in a row, pop that rubber band. At least you got them 2 to bite. I'd rather know what they are biting and lost them as have never got a bite.